Next, chair calls Shawn Flannigan, and behind Shawn, we're going to have Chase Bearden, and then behind Chase, we'll have Bob Kafka. So, Shawn, we show you registered as Shawn Flannigan on behalf of Election Integrity Project of Nueces County, and you're registered for the bill. Is this correct?
Yes, sir. Shawn Flannigan. Our project consists of about 250 folks. We are interested in free and fair elections in the state of Texas. Every person's vote should count, and we want voting easy, but we want cheating hard. If you want to avoid voter suppression, pass this bill. There's nothing that suppresses votes more than the perception of widespread fraud and cheating. We had a display here recently, Representative Bussi, Representative Lozano, where there was a disagreement as to the degree or the amount of election fraud that goes on in Texas. Representative Bussi says, nah, there isn't any. Representative Lozano says, yes, there are some. I have seen, and many people in my group have seen, studies that indicate there's large amounts of fraud in Texas. We don't know. Therefore, I would really suggest that the folks at this representative, and maybe it'll come up in front of this committee, there is a bill that's for auditing the elections in Texas to answer that question. Is there widespread fraud or not? The people in my group seem to think that there are. We're a nonpartisan group. As a result of that, the best thing we can do is you've increased the number of voting hours, you've increased and made it easier to vote. The previous witness, Donna, mentioned a couple minor ticks that can be done to fix it. Mail-in ballots would be great. Make the requirements for ID the same between a mail-in ballot and an ID and an in-person ballot, so you're using both the ballots. It's equal. Other than that, it's a great bill, and it will go far to reduce the perception of widespread fraud, because if people don't think their vote's going to count, because people think there's a lot of fraud going on, that's the worst voter suppression you can have. And for anybody who says that this bill is against any minority community or anything, they have not read the bill. This bill does not mention anybody's race, creed, or color, and it privileges no race, creed, or color. It needs to be passed. It treats everybody equally. Thank you.
Thank you, Shawn. Members, are there any?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Hang on one second real quick, Shawn. When I recognized you, I said you were representing the Election Integrity Project of Nueces County, but you're also representing yourself here today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let that be reflected in the record. Representative Lozano.
Mr. Flanagan, thank you so much for your comments, and I want you to know that you really struck a chord with me when you said that it's offensive when people say that this bill is targeting minorities, because obviously I support this bill. I am a minority, and so it's really hurtful when I hear people say that. Being from South Texas, you've clearly heard, like I am, many stories of voter fraud. You've seen investigations as well.
Yes, there have been cases in Robstown where people in 2018 were convicted of voter fraud, mail-in voter fraud. There's been convictions. The deal is, and what you were referring to earlier, the only possible way that a person could say that this bill is oppressing anybody is if you are an adherent of critical race theory. In critical race theory, it says equal opportunity under the law is racist. And if you believe in that, yeah, you could say this is a racist bill. But if you do not believe in that, then either you haven't read the bill or you're not being honest. This bill treats everybody the same, and I think it's something we need to pass. It's good for Texas. It's good for everybody in Texas on an equal basis.
Yes, and Chairman, Sir, so would you be surprised that NPR, National Public Radio, on one of their morning edition shows on July 7th, 2015, had a show, and I remember hearing this in my car when this happened, that was titled, "In Rio Grande Valley," this is NPR, okay, not Fox News. "In Rio Grande Valley, some campaign workers are paid to harvest votes."
No, I'm not surprised. I have a personal experience with that. I was a candidate in 2020 for a Del Mar School Board, or Board of Regents. During the course of the campaign, I was approached, and I didn't mention it until you asked me, but I was approached and said, listen, if I want 1,500 votes assured on my side, I need to hire this person as my campaign consultant, and they guarantee I'm going to get 1,500 votes. Now, I didn't follow up on that. I didn't mention any names, but it surprises me not at all what NPR is saying. There have been, the deal is we're guessing. Unless we do an audit, we're not going to know how bad the fraud is, or how, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the folks that believe in fraud are wrong. We should examine it. That's the point I'd make, and thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, yes, Representative Johnson.
Is there a party affiliation with the race that you ran?
We are, no, it was nonpartisan.
Thanks.
Okay. Members, any further questions? Okay. Thank you, Shawn. All right. Next, the chair.